Give me a small Vietnamese child. Anyways, welcome back to the video, guys. That's staying in there too. Welcome back
Oh,
to the video, guys. We appreciate the love on the first and second video. Uh, the watch rates have been pretty solid. It's not like people are tuning in and tuning out. So
hell yeah.
it's been Gucci. It's been fun doing this, and it's been fun seeing the reception. So this one is no shocker. We're a little late to the subject, but it's a subject
Yeah.
either way. The fucking Nintendo Direct and what it showed us, what it didn't show us,
Showed
what it
us.
did show us, and well, just the long term ramifications of what's about to happen in the game industry. So
We're all about to get fucked.
we're all about
That's
to
what's
get
about to
gang
happen.
fucked violently, and then to put it in perspective, I'm a huge Nintendo boy. That's how I grew up. My family is big Nintendo. They had the 64. They had all that shit. And my mom is might as well get a tattoo on the neck that says Nintendo because my God, slave. Uh so from my perspective, I had extreme excitement for the Nintendo Direct because that's just what I did. You know, I had the GameCube and I chose the Wii over the 360 and the PS3 because it's Nintendo. Now I look back, maybe I was a little gay, but I don't know.
I mean, taking the Wii over the 360 or PS3 is kind of crazy.
Kind of cracked,
Yeah.
kind of cracked. But could you play fucking tennis on the 360? Huh?
No, you couldn't.
Could you play?
Well, the Kinect wasn't that on the?
Oh yeah, the
360?
Kinect.
It was. It was just a worse version of the Wii.
Yeah,
it was,
but
it wasn't as
can
good as
you
the
play bowling on the PS3, bro? Huh?
Wii. I mean, yeah, they had the PlayStation Move thing, so yeah, you could actually.
Look, don't listen to the guy with the Sony shirt on, bro. All right.
I'm just saying you
You
could.
fucking communist
could do
bastard.
that.
Anyways.
It was after the Wii.
Oh
all right,
my
the Wii
God.
did it first. All right.
Oh my God,
The
this
Wii
is
did it
straight
first.
communism coming straight from your mouth. All right. Maybe you like Japanese and I like the Chinese. All right. Maybe that's what it is.
I mean, Nintendo's not Chinese, are they?
I have no idea, actually.
They're not. They're in Japan.
They're both Japan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That sucks.
Yeah, they're fucking Nintendo fanboy over here. Don't even know what fucking country they're from.
And because I'm a Microsoft fanboy. Xbox for life, bro. That shit tell it right here. Do that Wakanda shit. Talking about, I gotta. But anyways, we're excited for Nintendo Direct because it had, you know, it's the next thing. They're usually way ahead of the curve when it comes to the game industry. You know, how they innovate their games, how they bring new ideals to something that was already a new ideal. Uh, you know, when you think about the console wars, Switch has never evolved, or Nintendo's never evolved because there's no competing against Nintendo. They're so way ahead in sales and stuff like that that Xbox and PlayStation have to fight for second place, pretty much.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of excitement because, you know, what are they going to do now? People who had the Switch realize this console's kind of aging rapidly.
Kinda. A lot.
Yeah. For
It was
me,
aged when it came out, but
Yeah.
as far as the hardware goes, it's very aged now.
the when it came to like the newer games, especially Pokemon, oh my God, when me and my cousin got Pokemon, it was running off of like a fucking mouse trap and some cheese. It was just absolutely terrible. And then,
Yeah.
you know, you have their Zelda games and you have all that stuff. So obviously, it came to a point where it's like, okay, we should probably upgrade.
Yeah.
So, the Nintendo Direct came out. And now here we are. And now, my initial reaction is from two minds, right? Two minds. One, I am not surprised this is where it's heading. I'm just surprised that Nintendo was the one to do it. When you think of Nintendo, right? You think of their games. They were always the cheaper option for a system. They still technically are, but they were always
by like $50.
well compared to now, yeah. But when you have the PlayStation Pro being $700,
Well, wait. The Series S
yeah, Series
is
S,
cheaper.
yeah,
Is cheaper than what the Switch 2 is going to be. Anyway, I'll let you finish. But yeah, it's crazy.
yeah. But when you got the PlayStation Pro, which is not an upgrade in any
No,
measures,
that's just called a ripoff.
seven
That's a
hundred
straight up.
dollars.
Like, do you know anyone that's bought that?
No,
I don't. I don't know if anybody's
no.
bought a.
I don't think anybody wants to
PlayStation
admit
Pro.
they bought that.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
I think the only thing I've seen people get, not in my life, but is the 30th anniversary PlayStation Pro, where
Yeah.
it looks like the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, something like that. That's pretty cool.
That's
honestly.
cool.
I
It's
think
also
that's cool. If you have the
$760.
money.
Yeah.
If you had the disposable income. for
Yeah.
that's a cool thing
That's
to
a-
spend your money on
That's
if you had the money.
If I got half of my rent, but
Yeah, if burning a hole in my pocket, then yeah, that's cool.
it's great. It's great in the whole. But like I said, not shocked this is happening. I think we all kind of saw games heading this way because people kept dropping. Oh, GTA 6 can be $100 minimum.
Yeah, base price.
Minimum. And it's kind of like, okay, they already raised it to 70 for a lot of games.
Yeah, for most games.
For most games, it's 70 now.
For most console games, I feel like most if a game comes out on PC and it's only on PC, it's normally still $60 typically. But yeah, any console releases are pretty much guaranteed to be $70.
And it's the Ultimate Editions used to be like the $100 edition. Where you get like the whole year. I mean, you get everything the game has to offer for like $100, and then like the $150 was like you get a fucking trophy.
Yeah, you get like a statue that comes with it, like a map
Yeah,
made out of like real cloth, like canvas. There's
Yeah.
something crazy.
you got like a fucking Louis Vuitton bag for fucking $200. But
now you just get a game that you don't actually own.
well, now if you pay $100, you get a game, and then you get
You're allowed to play a game.
You get year one. You know what I mean? You don't get the future.
Yeah.
You just get year one.
Yeah.
If we go past year one, you got to pay for that, Chief. It's just like, brother. Now Ultimate Editions are like $250. There's a game right now that I want to play. Bleach. It's a fighting game.
Yeah.
Ultimate Edition is like $150. It's like, well, it's a fighting game. What do you got to do? You add characters and that's it.
Mortal Kombat's always been great with their complete edition, where they include all the characters and everything.
And it goes on sale so
That's-
fast.
Yeah, that's been always been a banger deal for fighting games. I love it.
But so anyways, back to Nintendo. I'm gonna name off some of the prices for you in the direct. So, as we know, the console was $450, right? If you want it with Mario Kart 9 or whatever it's called, it's almost $500, or it is $500.
Yeah, it's $500.
Plus, not to get political, but it's the real world. The tariffs are hitting, and they have said the Switches inside America already are going to stay $450. We're unsure of the price when we have to put more in.
Yeah.
So you know what that says is, one, they might increase it. Two, scalpers are going to be scalping the fuck out of that thing, boy. You thought
That's the
PlayStation,
worst part.
Xbox scalpers and COVID were going to be bad? Oh my god, they scalping the Switch too like a motherfucker, boy. Like a motherfucker.
Yeah, no, they are
They brought back the dire
100%.
wolves, and they're gonna scalp them motherfuckers too.
The
Billionaires.
crazy thing about the prices too is like, um, in other countries, like I forget which country it was, but I saw some posts about like it's going to be like
Yeah,
$700
I
in
saw
some
that
other
too.
countries, and I'm just like, holy shit!
700. So the Pro controller is $80. Which, if you
Which
don't
is the
know,
worst, one of the worst controllers in the history of
if
controllers.
you don't know, that's the new price of Nintendo games. It's $80. So
Digital,
yeah, digital,
digital.
digital. My bad, digital. Well, so if you want a controller, you gotta sacrifice a game, a digital game. The Switch 2 camera, which we saw it in action, is $50. And now I'll give Nintendo credit. They didn't hide anything from the play, like the camera, the mic, and
Yeah,
the screen share. They didn't hide anything. The screen share looked like it was going on 8-bit, and the camera looked like it was a hostage video. So I'm happy they showed it, right? Because if they're showing that in the direct, that's probably what it's going to be.
yeah.
So $50.
But that doesn't include the monthly subscription for online to use the camera to play with people online,
Yeah, that
or the subscription to use their voice chat. That's a separate
yeah,
subscription.
yep.
So too, if you want to use the camera and play online games with your friends, that you need two separate subscriptions plus the $50 camera.
So it's if you guys don't know, they're catching up to Xbox Live, which is now dead. Uh, but they pretty much made their own Discord inside of
Yep,
Nintendo, which is
they did.
cool.
I respect it.
It's a
Yeah,
family console, so people who are not in the same household or separated, they still get that chance to be on a family environment game. But one, it didn't look great, and two, you had to pay two separate subscriptions. Now, the first subscription is the Nintendo, which I have. It's like $3 a month, which is not bad.
yeah.
You go on the Nintendo eShop and you get rewards and stuff like that. The second description is to use everything in that Discord, which is like, okay. Well, the third description, which really got me because I was hyped, they announced like GameCube games
Oh yeah, the simulator.
because they
Yeah.
have the Game Boy game simulators and the Nintendo 64 simulators, which you also have to pay a subscription for. But the GameCube ones, oh man, that hurt. So that's three separate
Yeah.
descriptions if you want those three things, and it's like, oh, oh. Well, we're not done there. Joy-Con 2 controller, which is just a replacement for the Joy-Cons, but if they come out with like a Zelda design or a Pokemon design or a Mario Kart design, you're paying $90, which is the price of a physical game.
Yep.
The Joy-Con 2 charging grip, which, if you don't know, is it's a little handle. I should have it here, but it's over there. It's a little station, right? You slip the Joy Cons in, and it becomes like a little controller, but it also charges, right? That's $35. So not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad.
Compared to everything else, yeah, that makes that not as bad. But it's a $35 charger.
But I'm gonna hit you with this:
Okay.
the Joy-Con 2 strap. So if you don't know, if you haven't played the Switch,
I saw that.
the Switch has a little thing right in the middle, has little brackets, but the Switch 2 is magnetic, so it doesn't have brackets anymore. So I'm assuming it's gonna snap on. But you snap it on, it has a little strap on it, you tie to your wrist, like the Wii, where you
Yeah.
didn't fucking unleash a football into the middle of the screen because it slipped out your hand. Oh, that's $13.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure those were just free with the Wii. Like they just were included.
They might
in the
they might
in the
still
box.
come with the with the Switch 2. I would
Yeah.
assume they would since it's like a safety thing. So they might still
Uh,
include it. But either way, the replacement or to get it is $13. Uh which is half of the charging grip. Close to half of charging grip. Okay. Uh the Joy-Con 2 wheel 2-pack. So you get two. You get two. But it's to drive for the new Mario Kart Worlds. $20. That's not bad. That's not bad. I could pay
oh,
$20.
that's not bad. That's not bad.
Here's this. The dock set, which is what the Switch actually sits on. This is kind of understandable. It's the main thing. It's $110. So if you break that or you damage that, then
Oh,
you got you $110. The screen protector, $35.
for screen protector.
All
Okay.
in one carrying case, $80.
Oh, sacrificing another game.
And
For
then
carrying
the
case.
last on this list, the AC adapter, $30. So take that what you want. Take that how you will.
Oh,
Take that how you want to address that. How you want to approach that. Now the thing that shocks me and probably shocks the world, which is why you're getting the feedback of what you're getting, is that one, the Switch always used to be the family device for cheaper households. You know, you have 5 kids, you're eating fucking Kraft mac and cheese for breakfast. The Switch, Nintendo in general, was always that one where all your kids could play on it, and you don't have to worry about paying for a $600 360 or something like that.
yeah.
Well, not to get too economical, but at least for America, I can't speak on anything else. And maybe the UK, because I've done some research in the UK for a project. But anyways, in America, the the wages are not adding up to a comfortable lifestyle. So games that used to be an escape from life, where you can just buy and kind of escape from you not making enough, you not being able to make the bills, you made whatever pressures you have in life, games were able to kind of take you away from that just for a little bit. The fact that if you want to be taken away from that, you might have to pay close to $500. Or no, you will pay $500. Yeah. Parents are kind of like, okay, you had to switch to $500, or we got to switch at home.
Yeah. Yep.
That's kind of the thing. And like I said, the feedback on the Nintendo Direct is kind of a culmination of a lot of different things in life all at once, where it's just like, damn, I'm not making enough money. Everything's going up. Rent's going up. Prices going up. I got to sell my testicle for eggs. Everything is happening. And Nintendo comes out. Konnichiwa. $100. And it's just like, oh. Oh. So,
Along with an exclusive FromSoft game. Didn't even
exclusive
talk about
FromSoft
that.
game.
That's crazy.
But we'll get to the prices of the games now, right? I think there was a solid understanding for a long time that games were $60. Just a solid understanding. Our whole lives are just like, you want a game? $60.
Yep.
Well, those days are long gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Very.
And if you guys don't know, the physical versus digital aspects of games are pretty much over. I mean, it's digital now. Like, you just get digital games.
Yeah.
I know Ubisoft came out saying, "Hey, you don't technically own these games," and everybody was like, "Oh, fuck Ubisoft, fuck." No, that's every single digital game you buy. You don't own it. You never own it. You own a certain access to a certain server or a person server, and then you get the rights to play that game. It's in the terms and conditions. It's in there. You just don't read them. The fact that Ubisoft said it doesn't mean Ubisoft games are that. It just means that if you buy a digital game, that's what it is. If they happen to take the servers down or the fucking whole company goes gone from a nuclear attack and you can't play Assassin's Creed Black Flag, that means because the servers are gone and you don't have that
Yeah.
anymore. That's in their terms and conditions. That's why people like digital games. It's a thing you can hold and you do own it. But in our life, we have seen digital games need online access.
You mean physical?
Or yeah, physical games need
Yep.
online access.
Yeah.
Kind of makes it just worthless in the end. You might as
Yep.
well just buy it digital,
Yep. Which is horrible.
which is horrible. In places
I
like
hate it.
GameStop and well, Best Buy's, yeah, Best Buy, GameStop, Walmart,
Yeah.
Target. They're you look at the game section, it's like the size of like a fucking bukkake. It's not that big. At
Yeah.
least my bukkakes. but,
Yeah.
but I think it's sad to see for Nintendo because their physical games are $90.
Their physical games are more expensive than digital, which makes sense from like it costs money for them to make the physical copies, but it's crazy. $90 for a physical game.
For a game that's that big. It's that big.
It's a little chip.
It's a little chip.
Their plastic covers that they come in are like a quarter of the size of
Yeah.
normal game game covers.
It's sad, especially when these places are going out of business. So it's kind of like, if you want the physical, where the fuck are you gonna get a physical? Amazon. That's pretty much where you're gonna get it.
Yeah, and I don't know about you. I've bought a game off Amazon one time and I actually got ripped off. It wasn't even the game that I bought, so I don't even trust that anymore.
I only got one game off Amazon. It was fucking Lego Lord of the Rings because you can't buy digital anymore. So
Yeah,
and I don't even know where it is. I don't even know where it is.
yeah,
This wasn't like 10 years ago. It was like 2 years ago.
yeah.
But that's fucking Joe Biden for you. But
Yep. Thanks, Obama.
thanks, fucking Hillary. So yeah, we're at the point where we're paying $80 for games, $90 for games. We kind of saw this coming. GTA, like I said, might push 100. Other companies are kind of like, oh,
I think it's definitely going to now. Now that Nintendo like officially confirms $90 games, I don't think there's going to be anything holding back other studios from either pushing it to 100 or like, yep, cool, $90. Like that's the new price.
yeah.
Yeah, we're fucked.
I think
We're fucked.
just the fact that it's the shock that it's Nintendo that did it. It's Nintendo that set the bar, and it was just like, oh fuck, man. Like I thought you
fucked
were,
us all. Yep.
I thought you were helping us, B. Come on,
I
man.
thought for sure it was going to be Rockstar's with GTA 6 or even Sony. I don't think I could have saw Microsoft doing it, but I could have seen. I mostly saw Rockstar resetting the market with GTA 6, or I could see Sony making a move like that. But I did not see Nintendo coming out here and fucking us all in the ass. I did not see that.
The so I know there's gonna be two different perspectives here, and I'm a console player. I have the PS5, I have the Xbox X, I have the Switch, I have the GameCube, I have consoles, right? I don't have PC. So for me, even though it's an ass fuck in the ass, the Switch 2 is expensive, but at the same time, I am excited for it at the end of the day. I mean, it does have massive improvements from the Switch. The fact that a handheld can go 120 frames off the get go.
It's pretty.
So HDR supported and 4K resolution on the TVs and stuff like that. It's cool.
The third party support,
All the
which was
fucking
also surprising. It's very
all
surprising
third
to see
party
that.
games from Software has an exclusive game with the Switch, which is a real kicker for From Software fanboys.
Yeah,
Uh, Madden is finally coming to
to the
Nintendo,
Switch.
or yeah, to Switch. Which
That's been rumored for a couple of years now. Yeah.
the female, she was sitting next to me watching it. She was salivating over this Nintendo Direct, and I saw Madden come across the screen, and I was like, "You sold me. You sold me. All I've asked for in my life was a portable Madden game. I just want to
Dude, Madden on the PSP.
exactly,
I
bro.
bro, I loved that. Madden '09 on the PSP was my shit. I loved that.
That's all I asked for. Just
That's
let
all
me,
I've wanted ever since then. That's all I've wanted.
just with the technology of the Switch, I could be fucking Tom Brady. I could lift the Switch, go to CVS, and still fuck Tom Brady. It's sensational. It's everything I ever wanted. It's. I just want Madden to go. Madden to go. Not your fucking Madden Live where I had to collect cards and
Oh,
trade
the
things.
mobile.
Yeah, Madden Mobile, whatever the
Yeah.
fuck's called. Madden on the Switch, sensational. I just had to pay $900 and half my ass. So the from the console viewpoint, right? Um, I look at the I look at PlayStation Pro, or not at the time the PS5, which was like $600, but the PS Pro
Yeah.
is $700, right?
Yep.
I'm comparing it to the Switch 2. So PS Pro $700, right? For a console that doesn't have exclusives. Like they have iconic exclusives, but when you name them off, they haven't came out in years.
Yeah, they're old. They're old exclusives. Yeah.
You have Spider-Man, which they axed that company to the ground, but now they're making Wolverine or Logan. You have
I
God
think
of
it's
War.
called Wolverine. I think.
Oh yeah, Wolverine. They have God of War, which they only had two of, and
Yep.
there's no
Two
sign.
Spider-Man, two God of War,
Yeah, there's no sign of a third God of War. Then you
four
have
Spider-Man.
The Last of Us, which they remastered 7 fucking times, and no one liked 2. So you remastered 2 like 3 times, and it came up in this generation. So why the fuck you remaster like 3 times? Now there's an Ultimate Edition for Last of Us, whereas 1, 2, all the DLC. It's like, bro, I played this game for 20 years. I don't need it. No one asked for this. So you have Last of Us. You have Uncharted, which is gone.
Yeah, unfortunate.
There's one more I'm completely missing.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima, which are coming out for 2, but that was in 2019. This is 2026, so that's a whole 7 years.
I think that's all of their exclusives.
And Helldivers,
Except for like, oh yeah, Helldivers, Ratchet and Clank. Those are exclusive, right?
yeah, those are exclusive, but you just don't see them.
Oh yeah, it's been a while. It's been like close to 10 years probably since they came out with one of those. The last one was actually really good. But yeah, I don't. They're not working on anything like that.
But that's the
right
thing,
now.
like you buy a $700 console, and you theoretically don't have. Of course, you could buy other games. Not saying that, but the reason to buy a PlayStation exclusively, I mean,
Is to play their exclusives.
is not there. There's no games. Xbox, which is not a huge
They've
upgrade
completely
from
evolved all
PlayStation.
their exclusives.
Yeah, it's not a huge
They don't
upgrade
have
from
exclusives anymore.
PlayStation, but it is an upgrade. they don't really have exclusives. The only thing they sell on is
Yeah.
when they gave up on the whole console wars, they gave up on everything.
Yeah.
They're going
Yeah,
to
they gave up on exclusives, the console war. Yeah, they don't do any of that now. I mean, I do still think that the Series S is the best deal in console gaming right
probably.
now. I mean, Game Pass plus a Series S is the cheapest way to play a shitload of games.
And now Game Pass is not even exclusive to Xbox. Now it's on PC. Now they're
Yeah.
putting it
Oh,
on.
that's really the best deal. You got a PC that can play games, bro. $11 a month, and you already have a PC. Dude, that shit is. That's the best deal.
But now they're really diving into cloud gaming to where you
Yep.
can not
Play on your
even download
TV.
the game. You can play
Yep.
on the TV. You can do all that stuff. You can do it to your phone. You can get like a
Yep.
backbone for it. So when you think about it, okay, those guys are 700, and there's no flashy exclusive games. The Switch 2, $450 fucking dollars, but they do have their exclusive games that frequently come out.
They do have exclusives.
And they invest in their exclusives. There's going to be a Mario game. There's going to be a Kirby, a Zelda, a Pokemon. There's an exclusive for Nintendo. Yep. A con to that, as a Nintendo fanboy, Nintendo games do not go on sale.
Nope, here we spending, and now they're $90 or $80 digital.
They do not go on sale. You go to GameStop right now and go to the used section, $60. Pre-owned, yeah. $60. So, okay, what's it missing? None. $60. Oh, do I get the little book with it? That's dead and gone. No. $60. So it's like, all right. So from your perspective is really interesting one because you're a PC master race. You're looking down on all of us having our little scrimmages with this. When you look at the PlayStation, you look at Xbox, you look at the Switch 2, from your perspective, I mean, what do you see?
I mean, as far as it's funny because I'm wearing the PlayStation shirt today. It's funny because I think PlayStation is the absolute worst investment in gaming right now. I think it's horrible. I think the PlayStation Pro is the worst console to ever come out as far as like price to what it's actually worth. And like we've already talked about, the exclusives are non-existent, like at least new exclusives. A lot of those exclusives are on PC now also for $60. And they do go on sale on Steam. So that's nice. I do have a Series S Xbox. I don't play it very often anymore. I mostly play like college football, 25 on it. I still think Game Pass is a good deal, especially if you're looking to get into a console. Like I think Series S or even Series X with Game Pass, like it's a pretty solid deal. I would probably never buy like a top tier console anymore, just myself, because I barely play the console, so I just want the cheapest thing. In the Switch, I am so not Nintendo's market. I don't care about Nintendo as far as their games. You know, I played Pokemon. I had a Game Boy when I was younger. I had the GameCube. But what I mostly played on the GameCube and even the Game Boy, besides Pokemon, were third-party games. Like SSX snowboarding was one of my favorite games on GameCube. I played the shit out of that. Madden, I played on the GameCube a lot. Tony Hawk, all the Tony Hawk games. I've just never been drawn to Nintendo as far as like their first party games. So me seeing a Switch 2 at $450, and that doesn't include the dock to play on like a larger TV or something. Mm-hmm. That's insanity. I would never do that. I do understand wanting a portable game device, And if, of course, if you are a massive Nintendo fan, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You're captive. You're a captive market, captive audience. You don't have a choice. If you want to play the latest Nintendo games on their latest hardware, you have to buy this. Um, Now, if you have a PC, I mean, there's this thing called a Dolphin emulator, and you can play basically any Nintendo game you want at 4K,
He's
whatever
joking,
hertz you
Nintendo.
want.
Nintendo, he's joking. He made this all
I know.
up
I'm
just
gonna
now.
get sued. I know they're gonna send me a cease and desist, or just straight up send me a lawsuit for talking about that.
He's joking.
But yeah, allegedly. I don't know about any of this
Yeah,
stuff.
allegedly.
This is the things I've heard.
Yeah.
Allegedly,
Rumors. Don't pay attention to the
rumors.
bounty hunter
I've heard
picture.
rumors of this thing called the Dolphin emulator.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, I mean, I if you don't have a PC, obviously, PCs are expensive. Gaming PCs are much more than a console, like price wise. Like, if you want a good gaming PC, you're looking at spending a minimum of, like, if you want something that can play like 100 plus FPS, like maybe even 4K, like you're looking at over $1,000. So I mean, it's expensive. But if you already happen to have something like that, and even for Nintendo games, I mean, for Nintendo games, like you, I mean, you can buy like a $500 PC, and you could run Dolphin emulator, allegedly,
Allegedly.
allegedly, and play all the Nintendo games you want, except for, of course, the brand's new ones, because those are brand new. Uh, so if you're a Nintendo fan, you're kind of captive audience. Like, you're either gonna stick with the old Switch, which I don't think these new games are coming out for the old Switch. I think
No.
they're only the Switch 2. Yeah, so Nintendo's really fucking over their their fan base. I feel like that's how the way I see it is that Nintendo is fucking over all their fans right now with this price. It feels like a price gouge, because if you look at the hardware in the Switch, yeah, it's cool. It's like 120 FPS. Their games are also the most simplistic graphics you could possibly imagine. Uh, like the hardware specs to run Nintendo games are fucking in a toaster oven. Like, it doesn't require much at all. So if you actually look at the hardware specs of the Switch 2, they are still outdated already. That's the crazy thing. It's $450 for what is already considered outdated hardware. But because they're Nintendo games, it looks good, because their thing is always in the art style. They have a unique art style. It's the Nintendo way, and it's very simplistic. So it's going to run really well. But then I feel like we're going to run into the same exact situation that we ran into with the original Switch. Is a few years down the line, it's going to start to feel really outdated again already, just like the first one. So I think it's kind of crazy, the price.
I think two things to go off of that. One, from my perspective, even though I'm not diehard Nintendo anymore,
Yeah.
it feels like if I were, they're backing you into a corner, right? We know our games don't run on the Switch anymore. We know the new games are not coming out for the Switch anymore.
Yeah.
So, brother, you're gonna have to pay for this.
Yep.
Knowing that, like I said, means scalpers, because they know you're backed into the corner. So, okay, I'm just gonna buy 10 of these, and then that. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Yep.
If you want it that bad, you're gonna have to buy it.
Bro, people are gonna be spending $700 plus on fucking Switch
what?
2s.
If the price truly does go up from tariffs, it's done.
Oh, I'm talking about the 450 price from that. But
No,
yeah,
no, I'm
like,
saying-
if
I'm
it
saying
goes up even more.
If they run out in the U.S. and they have to
Yeah.
import more, and they have to raise the price for that, then the scalpers are gonna be like, bro, you're gonna have to pay us right now to get this game right now.
Yep.
But the second thing is, from my perspective, I'm not a hardware guy. If it runs, it runs. If it looks good, it looks good.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the average Joe Schmo. Uh, there's not much improvement from the consoles anymore, right? It's not like games are getting graphically better. It's not like games are running completely smoother now. They're kind of just plateaued for consoles right now. And, there's only this certain games that exceed any expectations, like the Red Dead 2s and the God of War or fucking Cyberpunk. You know what I mean? It's first of all, Cyberpunk on Switch 2 probably gonna run like a fucking Chinese mousetrap. Okay, that shit's gonna be.
It's either gonna run like 10 frames per second or it's gonna look like dog shit.
Yeah, there's no way. Absolutely no way. If I'm playing Cyberpunk on my Xbox, it looks unbelievable. But at the same time, I hear my Xbox going. So it's just like, all right, I know this is working my console, which means I know I paid money. That's good. That's good. For the Switch 2, you're playing that shit portable. It's setting your house on fire. It's setting your house on fire.
It's gonna turn into a fucking pipe bomb.
Yeah,
dude.
it's gonna fucking JFK your shit. All right, it's it's not good. So, from that perspective, right, the current Nintendo games cannot run on the current Switch, which means the new Switch will run the old Nintendo games perfectly. But some of them also are not being ported over. And if they do get a remaster, it's another. Well, they didn't say the price, but
it's gonna be $80. It's gonna be $80.
They said you don't have to pay the full price. They did say that.
Okay,
they said
maybe
it's gonna
70.
be usually for the consoles. If they make a remaster and you already own the game, let me rephrase that. If it's Xbox, it's free. If it's PlayStation, you gotta pay $10 or $20.
Yep.
Nintendo, we're waiting on you.
It's gonna, bro. I guarantee you, it's gonna be like a minimum of $40 or something like that.
Nah, they can't.
Yeah, they can.
They can.
They're selling $90 games now.
They can.
They can.
They can. But they can't.
They can.
They can, but they can't.
Oh, and one other thing I forgot to mention, from like the PC perspective is, or not just PC perspective, but just looking at the market, like there are so many other handheld gaming devices now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the Switch was the first like big mainstream one, but dude, the Steam Deck is fucking amazing. There's more games on it than absolutely any other handheld because it's PC gaming essentially. And on top of that, allegedly you can run the Dolphin emulator.
Allegedly. If that was real.
If that was even a real, I don't even know if it's real, but if it were, allegedly, it runs on the Steam Deck. And the Steam Deck base price is cheaper than what the Switch 2 is going to be. Not by much. It's like $50. I think it's like $400 base price, but I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the last thing I have to say about that stuff, but it's kind of crazy.
I only watched two people actually hold the Nintendo Switch 2, like play it. Like Jake Baldino was one of them, and it was the other guy. And he did say he liked it way more than the Steam Deck, but I know he wasn't a fan of the Steam Deck in the first place.
Yeah.
So it was like,
did he say why? Did he give any reason?
He said it feels more premium.
I mean, I guess that's fair. The Steam Deck has like a hard plastic cover on it. So that's fair. It's not like brushed aluminum or anything like that.
Yeah, he said Switch 2 feels good. I mean,
yeah.
Like I said,
I mean, it better feel good.
It better feel good. It better fucking rub my dick. It looks good. It feels good. It probably plays good. It's Deion Sanders.
My question is, how long is it going to play good, though? Because of the already outdated hardware, just like the original Switch. Like, it'd be one thing if the Switch was priced at the same base price that the last one was priced at, but it's not the cheapest thing on the market anymore. And, like, I don't think it's going to hold up anywhere near as long as the Series S, even like it's just
Well, compared to home consoles, it still is the cheapest option.
a Series S is cheaper.
Oh yeah, yeah, but you can't play Nintendo games.
That is the crux of this whole thing. That is the one selling point. That is the in my mind, that is the only selling point. The only selling point to the Switch 2 is playing the brand new and future release Nintendo games.
Yeah, I mean
That is it.
the
Like it's
my only
crazy.
my only pushback on the outdated stuff is that Nintendo games are already outdated. Like the games themselves, it's not like they're pushing the craziest requirements in the world.
Oh no, they're not. We already said that
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
like
yeah.
literally the lowest requirements besides like a straight up 2D game. But I mean, even with that being said, the Switch itself is the original Switch is struggling to run those games now.
Oh yeah, struggling to run those games. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So how many years until the Switch 2 is struggling to run Nintendo games?
yeah. But my only thing is like it feels like it's plateaued. Like the whole industry itself has plateaued for consoles.
It's I don't know. I think it feels that way because the fidelity on like at a glance has maybe plateaued, but I think they're pushing the boundaries significantly in other directions. And like an example of that is like map sizes in
Mhm.
games are drastically larger than what they used to be. I mean, if you let's just take Skyrim for example. Like, do you remember how many fucking loading screens
Yeah,
were in Skyrim when it first came out? You can play Skyrim now with absolutely zero loading screens, like nothing, like without a problem. Like even a decent computer or especially any of the modern consoles can easily play Skyrim with zero loading screens and probably could do it with a map double the size of that with like how graphically intensive Skyrim is. You have games like Space Marines 2, which like really was pushing the limits on like the amount of enemies on screen and like how AI react and like the swarm mechanics. So like I think as like from graphically like how good it looks, like from that standpoint, I think yeah, it has plateaued a little bit, but they're pushing the boundaries in a lot of other ways significantly more than what older hardware could handle. Like it's still pushing our significantly better hardware to the limits, just in like different ways.
mhm.
So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. That's the only thing is, what the fuck is Nintendo pushing?
That's true. I mean, they are pushing map size,
Well,
and especially in their
well
Zelda
that
games. They're
that
starting to
Mario
do that.
Worlds was kind of OD.
Yeah.
That Mario, that driving off the course and doing all that shit. That's a Switch 2 selling point.
Yep.
But
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess we gotta find.
Maybe Nintendo will just completely stop trying to innovate anything in that way. Maybe they will,
I
and
don't.
maybe the Switch 2 will forever run Nintendo games just as well as it does on release. But
I don't know.
I don't think it will.
No, I don't think it will. One crazy thing about Switch 2 that seems to just fall right under the radar. I don't see a lot of people talking about it. So they have a inside the system game where you can see like, oh, click on the analog stick, you can see what makes the analog stick. You know, they have like a broken
Yeah.
down structure inside a video game, and you can play like mini arcade games and stuff like that. You gotta pay for that too. You gotta pay to learn what your Switch is, which is kind of
Bro, that's
OD.
crazy.
Uh,
That is crazy. Oh, and let's talk about the 3 seconds of Silk Song.
Yeah, they
that
they
was
dropped so many.
that was just brushed over.
It'd be crazy if that was a Switch exclusive. Like they was like, oh, boom.
There's no way.
That'd be
I don't
sick.
believe. There's no way. It'll at least be on PC. It might be a console exclusive for Switch, but
Yeah.
it'll 100% be on PC.
And then the From Software game. And
That's crazy. That was probably, besides the price hike, that was the biggest surprise for me. Was that?
I don't know, man. It's a weird time. Like I said, I think the hate around the Switch, not the hate, but the outrage, really just comes down.
I think it's more so disappointment. But yeah.
Disappointment. I think it just comes down to everything in life culminating to this one moment right here where it's just like, of all the people to fuck, like I'm always getting fucked in the ass. But the one person to fucking fuck me in the ass is the Switch, bro. It's like you're getting trained by everything, right? You're tied down. Life is training you. Fucking your bills, your job,
work, whatever,
your school, your work. Everything's taking turns on you, right? You're tired. Your legs are numb, and you just can't handle it anymore. And then you're like,
so you turn the Nintendo Direct on.
Oh, I'm finally done.
Some relief.
I'm finally done. I cleaned up. I took a shower. And all of a sudden, this motherfucker grabs me and throws me on the bed. And I'm like, yo, who is this? And it's Nintendo. Of all the people to spread my cheeks, it's fucking Nintendo.
It's horrible, man.
Hopefully, no one from Nintendo watches this. Because allegedly, a dolphin simulator.
Oh god,
and
yeah.
Getting ass fucked. But yeah, we're here. We are here in a very pivotal time in gaming, right? I think we've had a boom. We've had like a little renaissance. Games started becoming movies, and games started becoming actual pieces of art. Now we're hitting very high saturated market where it's like, oh, play this. Business trying to make much money. Billionaires are looking at games. Amazon's looking at games. Netflix is looking at games. They're like, oh, I gotta get into this. They saw what happened during COVID, and they're like, oh, I gotta get my piece of video games. And it's kind of like, when was it Genesis or Sega, whatever it was, when they made their consoles, and everybody was like, oh, we gotta make our consoles, and they started making like burnt pieces of plastic shit.
Yeah.
I think we're going to hit a point where we're in the old Great Depression where everything is just here. People can't afford games. People can't play games. I mean, we're going to hit a point where people just can't afford this shit anymore.
Yeah. It used to be like it had the option of being a cheap hobby.
Yeah.
Like, you could be a cheap avid gamer playing a ton of different games, or of course, and there was always that point where if you wanted to be a whale in a game, you could do that, because microtransactions, like all that, you could do that. Now it's like,
real quick,
man, it's gone
real quick. Encyclopedia, a whale in a game is where you invest everything into a game, right? You got that one player that plays a game, buys all the skins,
dropping thousands,
all the maps. That's usually what companies look for. Is they look for the whale. They're like, okay, average player's not going to buy this, but if we get that whale, if we get 2 whales, we're made for like the month. That's what a whale is. Okay, keep going.
Okay. But now it's getting to the point where I feel like I can only buy like 1 or 2 games, like new games a year. And that's like my limit for like what I can do now, because they're so expensive now. I also don't even know if I'm gonna like them anymore, so like that's a big thing. Like, I'm having to do way more like research into games before I invest in them, on top of being able to buy way fewer. It sucks.
And if you pay attention to our last podcast, the game media surrounding games ain't doing us any favors. So if you're
No, they're making
confused,
it harder.
yeah, if you're confused about spending $70, well, tough luck. You either listen to people who got paid by the company, or you got people who got
Just
burned by
want
the company.
clicks. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah,
they got burned by them, or they're just trying to get clicks.
yeah. So it's a really tough
Um,
environment. And then brands
one of the yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say we're right now experiencing what I think one of the weirdest reveals for any game I've ever seen with Marathon right
Yeah,
now. Um, I'm not seeing anything from anybody that isn't somebody that was somehow involved with the reveal.
yeah,
Um, I think just to touch on it a little bit, like I think it looks great. Um, all the videos have been pretty positive, with some crucial feedback and criticism on the alpha, because a lot of them were from people that played the alpha, the closed alpha. Um, I don't know, like scrolling through again comment sections on YouTube of all these videos. I'll see maybe one positive comment for every like 50 that I scroll through. It's pretty horrible. But then again, there's nobody making videos on it saying anything. Like everybody that's played it, that has talked about it, is overall positive on it. Everybody,
yeah,
even Luke Stevens, the guy that I've stopped watching because of how negative he is, like stupidly negative on things. He's positive on Marathon. He got to play it. But like every single comment section I've seen, it's been nothing but negativity. So maybe it is truly one of those games where you really do just have to play it first. I don't know. But it's really weird. It's a very weird reveal.
yeah. I think one, it has, to just touch on it. It has
Yeah.
one of the most OG gaming reveals of our time, right? It so it's hard to explain, but there's a certain time, like when we were in middle school and high school, where games had major marketing techniques,
Yeah.
like reveal trailers on the cap of a Mountain Dew bottle, and
Yeah.
you had to do crazy puzzles. You had to dig deep to find any kind of information in a game, and Marathon had that because Bungie's a very old company at this point, so
Yeah.
they understand, how to make a reveal game. They know how to make a trailer. That's for goddamn sure. Uh, so it's cool seeing that. It kind of has some what's the fucking word for it? Oh my god. Oh my god.
The aura.
No, not aura. Where you play an old game, you have fond memories of it, so you
Nostalgia.
nostalgia.
Yeah.
It had some nostalgia to it of doing the reveals and the gameplay reveals. It was nice. It was nice having that.
Yeah.
At the same time, it was like, this is not. It's weird. It looks so good. It
For
looks
the art style.
It looks
art
and
style.
sounds so good. The story, the soundtrack, it's so fucking good. But at the same time, I don't know who wants to play it, but the people who have played it have enjoyed it. And the people who haven't played it are confused or pissed. So it's like,
Yeah. Mostly pissed. Yeah.
what is this game? What is this? Like, this
I
is
don't
no
know.
game I have the choice but to play. But you gotta pay.
Yeah. Yeah. Rumor is it's going to be like a $40 price tag.
If you can't pay, then for some reason you're gonna hate. I think that's
Yeah,
the
that's
weird.
what people do now.
I think that's the weird climate we're in. That if you haven't played it or you can't pay for it, you hate it.
And I hate it. Yeah.
So I think we'll.
I'm excited for it. I'm buying it. I already know I'm going to get it. I'm excited.
I'm definitely gonna be in tune. That's for sure. I'm
Yeah.
definitely
Oh
gonna
no,
be
I
in
know you
tune to that
will.
motherfucker. Comes out in September. Let's see if that solidifies. But it comes out in
Yeah.
September.
I think the alphas, the next couple of alphas will determine whether or not they stick with that release date. And whenever GTA wants to announce when they're coming out,
Yeah.
I'm sure will affect it.
But I think I've said enough of ass fucking and glory hole banging from Nintendo.
Yeah.
Uh, at the end of the day, I'm going to have a Switch 2. When or where, I don't know. But I'm going to have one. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably had to be like a secret tax return. Like, I'm just going to have to suck somebody off for a tax return and then get
Yeah.
fucking. I think that's enough homosexual jokes for me now.
Hit that perfect balance.
Hit that
right
perfect
there.
balance. I hit that cue before YouTube strikes us. Uh, but yeah, that's the video. That's Nintendo. Let us know how you feel in the comments about how you feel about Nintendo. Are you happy that the reel's here? Are you also upset that you're getting ass fucked? Have you been ass fucked?
Let us know.
Let us know. Let
Please.
us know,
In
please.
detail.
Dive into the details. I will comment for sure and
Yes.
send pictures. But as far as we know, that's it for this pod. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, handles are at the bottom of the outro. That's Kane. He has his own things. Me is me. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Peace out.
Oh boy, ass fucking.